So where did all the money go? There are companies that are laying off employees. The stock market's going down. People are getting laid off, even though over the last year or two, it seems like employment has gone up. It's really just replacing employees that lost jobs in the pandemic, 2019, 20, and beginning of 21. People are starting to lose jobs, and they'll happen in the future. Mark my words, this is June of 2022. If you're watching this video around that time, bookmark it, look again in 6 months, and see what's going on with the labor market. If you're watching this video in 2023, I'll bet by now you're already seeing that there's a decline. Where'd all the money go? Well, first of all, you have a stock market decline that as of now, according to this article you see on the screen, it's $3 trillion worth of wealth that's been removed from the stock market. But that's not the biggest part of it. There's another $10 trillion that has been erased from the economy because it was temporary to begin with. Where did that come from? Well, after the pandemic, there was $5 trillion of stimulus money put into consumers' hands and pockets. That came from the stimulus checks that we got 2 or 3 times. That came from extended unemployment benefits. It came from PPP benefits. It came from EIDL loans. There was $5 trillion pumped into the economy over the course of about 18 months. In addition, there was another $5 trillion that came from the Fed in liquidity to businesses, loan facilities, and other funding that just went right into the economy. So you have that $10 trillion, plus the stock market went up $3 trillion. Well, that's all gone because that money's all spent. The stock market is down $3 trillion. There's no more stimulus money coming in. At the same time, the prices of all our products have gone up. So not only do you have that $13 trillion, unlucky 13, removed from the market, you also now have prices that are higher. How much is $13 trillion, though, compared to the big picture? Well, the entire GDP of the U.S. is about $20 trillion. So that $13 trillion that was in the market as extra money, well, the entire GDP of the United States is $20 trillion. So if you have $13 trillion put into the economy in a year and a half or so, that's more than half of the overall economy of the U.S. pumped in all at one time. That gives people an artificial sense of wealth, an artificial sense of well-being and financial security. Now, when you pull all that out, you might say, well, it's back to normal. It's not, because the prices are now higher. If you go back to the Future, drive your DeLorean time machine to 2018, the prices of everything was 30% lower than what they are now, 40% for some products. So it's not just that the $13 trillion is no longer available for people to spend, it's now the things you do have to buy without that money now cost more. What is that going to do for the economy? Well, it's going to hit it pretty hard. Over the next 8 to 16, maybe 18 months, you're going to have more job cuts. Companies are going to start laying off again. You're going to have companies that go out of business. You're going to have consumers that run out of cash. There's already a much lower wealth savings rate than there was even 2 years ago. All the cash people saved up, it's gone. Why is it different now than it was 5 years ago? If you had cash, why did you spend it so fast? Well, here's the reason. It's the lotto effect. Many of the people that all of a sudden had cash in 2020 and 21 from stimulus and unemployment never had that much cash before. They were always living paycheck to paycheck, and all of a sudden you have $5,000, $6,000, $8,000. Or if you're a business owner that filed for a PPP and got 30 grand, you maybe never had that much liquid cash in your business. And so you operated differently. You ever see those stories about somebody who wins the lotto and then 2 years later they're bankrupt? Because they're not used to retaining capital. They're not used to retaining money. So they don't plan accordingly, and the money's all gone, and they overspend and set up a lifestyle with a higher income. That's why a lot of people quit their jobs, because they had the extra cash. They figured they didn't need a job. This is going to end badly. in 2022 into 23, where the people who don't have jobs that all of a sudden need them again are not going to be available. People that already have jobs are going to get laid off. We've seen many layoffs. Carvana, mortgage companies, tech companies are already laying off lots of people. In fact, some of the companies are de-hiring people that were offered a job and telling them, hey, just kidding. That job you were going to start next month, forget it. This is all happening very suddenly. So you have all these people out of work. You have prices higher. You have inflation continuing. No more stimulus money. Where's the answer going to come from? Well, they can't do stimulus again. 10 trillion is all the money that anybody ever had. You can't jack up rates too much. They're going to do that anyways. They're going to probably go 75 basis points in July or August, which means everybody's credit card rate will go up. New car loan rates will go up. Mortgage rates will go up again. Mortgage rates will probably be near 7%, probably by the end of the year. Right now they're 5 point something. They'll probably be 7% by the end of the year. So that's going to put a big crimp on the new home market and also, more importantly, the home equity line market. Because there's some people that are flush with equity in their house because the market went up and now all of a sudden they need cash and they may think, well, I'll just tap an equity line. Well, guess what? Equity line at 3% or 2.5%, that's not happening anymore. Your equity line now might be 8% because when 30-year mortgages for primary resident purchase is at 7%, equity lines are usually a point higher. So you're going to be 8%. Well, if you take out a $100,000 credit line at 8%, you're spending $700 a month. Now, some consumers might need that $100,000 just to cover their bills. Or if you lose your job, you might need that to cover your expenses for a year or and a half or two maybe. But now all of a sudden you have an extra $800 a month bill that you didn't have before. That's going to hurt. Credit card rates are going to go up. So if you're spending $300 minimum payment on a credit card, now it might be $400 on top of the extra $100 for gas, the extra $200 for groceries, right? So this is all converging like a perfect storm to create even more pressure on the economy. Not many people are talking about the R word, recession, or even depression, but I suspect it's June 11th, 2022. Within the next 60, 90 days, you'll hear those two words a lot more than you are right now. Tell us what you think in the comments. See if you're seeing any of these factors in your business, in your personal life, in your finances. If you're a business owner, do you see that happening? Do you see clients starting to pull back? Are you starting to pull back? Tell us what you think.